Okay guys, let's roll. Been meaning to make a video about this for some time, but one of our kinsmen, fellow patriot, left a comment saying that he thinks that when the troubles in this country kick off, they're going to kick off in Ulster first. And I agree with him. And I'll tell you why now. As you know, I spent a lot of time in Northern Ireland between 1969 and 1976 as a volunteer. Some guys will do anything for 50 pence a day. No, it's because I believed in the Ulster men. Yeah, I'm going to tell you now what you can expect, what is coming to our country, to the United Kingdom. Not that Ulster isn't a part of the United Kingdom. They refer to us as the mainland, the Ulster men. The background image, that's a friend of mine. I'm going to interview him one day about his time in Northern Ireland. He had it different to me. He was on the streets, I was in plain clothes. Both faced dangers in different ways. He knows what it's like out there. The image on the top left, I told you about that image, or the badge on it. It's a UVF badge. I was given one for safe passage in loyalist areas, not with that particular blue around it. The one I was given, someone in Blaine still got it. I doubt they'll give it me back. They treasure it. But that's what I used to carry around in my pocket when I was in the loyalist areas of Ulster, Northern Ireland. So it's all going to kick off. And why do I say it's all going to kick off? Have a look at this video from Freedom Dad. I'll play you a couple of bits from it. I totally respect this man.
To open our doors to these poor refugees, because it's all nonsense. Not when you got 55 Muslim countries around the world, not when you got so many rich countries around the world refusing to take these men, and most men and women, men, fighting needs men, and they're not here to integrate, they're not here to marry our women, they're not here to start families, they're here for something else. What that something else, I think we're going to find out in the next year, unfortunately. You know, these guys, they're putting them straight into security jobs. Guys that are coming into this country with no ID, going straight into security jobs. How is that even possible? So the next step's the police, you know, and they're going to be policing us. When they bring in the digital ID and the facial recognition and you aren't happy about it, and you're out there protesting, it'll be Afghanistani men and Pakistani men that'll be fighting you back. Just think about that for a wee minute. There's no other reason. You know, these men have travelled through 5, 6 safe countries around the world, very determined to get here. So,
right, I'll stop that bit there. Should listen to this man, he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to show you what it means to be involved in a civil war. Let's have a look at this image here. Bear with me, guys. Can you see this? It's the casualties from Northern Ireland. 502 British soldiers lost their lives. But there's something I want to point out to you. The UVF, I wonder if I'd ever had a pint with some of them. I might have. The UDA, yeah, I used to drink with them. Yeah. Here's what I want to show you guys when it kicks off. Civilian casualties, 1,785. If you go into a pub, you're going to have to get used to looking at the door to see who comes in, to see if they're carrying something. You'll have to get used to looking for the nearest fire exit. When you go shopping, you'll be looking over your shoulders. Yeah. Women won't just be frightened of walking down the street at night. They'll be frightened to go out through their front door. It's not a fun time. Something I wanted to show you here. 301, actually was more than that. It's 301 from the RUC. 301 police officers were killed. They were killed by the IRA, the PIRA, and sometimes by the loyalists, really. IRA, official IRA, they lost 24 men. I used to jump for joy when they were killed. I'm not going to talk about that part of my time in Northern Ireland. What I want to show you is somewhere here, bear with me, 55 civilian political activists up towards the top. 55. By political activists, they mean councillors. Councillors from Sinn Féin, councillors from the loyalist political parties. Yeah, so 55 councillors were killed. Yeah, think on that. Judges. I'm not sure if I've got the judges there, but I do know for a fact, I researched this earlier on, that 5 judges were also killed by either the IRA or by the loyalists. Now I can tell you this, I am so glad peace has come to Ulster, Northern Ireland, but that peace is not going to last. But I am glad to see that this time the Catholics and the Protestants at least appear to be united and realise that they've got a bigger enemy now than they did with each other. Let's go back to this video. Bear with me. Bear with me. Listen to what this man says. Don't doubt anything he says. I've met men like this. They're as ruthless as me.
Stories are horrific, and that's what we do. We highlight that. We call out the dumb ones. You know what I mean? The far left, and this is what happens. We're up at the crack of dawn every other week, going to court, you know, to defend against trumped up ridiculous charges. You know, memorabilia. Glenn's in from. You got to understand this. Glenn is on bail, not allowed to go to demos, got to sign on every week. Persecution, that is.
He's talking about 2 patriots who've been sort of back and forth the courts for the last 2 years for having a magazine that is not illegal. In the same way that British person was arrested on his return from America because whilst he was on holiday in the States, he was photographed at a rifle range, and he was arrested on his return back to the UK, held in jail overnight. Same thing's happening in Ulster as ours.
Because they can do it, because they can get away with it, and our politicians stay silent, you know. Our politicians stay silent and let them do this, they are men. But yeah, there's men coming behind me that will call these men out, you know. There's a lot of men doing a lot of work right now, and I know the shady past and everything. Some people can think that they can get away with just not listening to Freedom Dad. I'm just a start of it.
There are people in Ireland, the politicians of today, who have forgotten their past. They don't know just how passionate men like Freedom Dad are when it comes to protecting their families and their country. They've forgotten. They make a big mistake. I can tell you this now. All over the Ulster, Northern Ireland, floorboards are being lifted. 3-in-1 oil is being bought and pull-throughs being made. If you know what a pull-through is, you know.
In the start of the wave that's coming, and he's not going to get away with keeping being silent when our men are being persecuted in the courts of Belfast. But you all drink your champagne and eat your caviar because you're getting paid the big bucks. And you don't care about us wee guys that are on the street any longer, but you will shortly, I can guarantee you that. Because I know what's coming. Freedom Dad knows what's coming.
The Green Arrow knows what's coming. He's been there once before. Kev, if you're watching this, you know what's coming. Well, I hope you're next to me when it does kick off. Okay, guys, I've showed you. The first to start going will be the judges, the councillors, the police. And then it'll be tit for tat. There's only one solution to this: mass repatriation from all of the United Kingdom and from the Republic of Ireland. Otherwise, it's going to be the Troubles release 2. You've been listening to Paul Morris, the Green Arrow. Talk to you later, guys.